So I got lucky. I put enough money in there for a squirt, which is what I bought, and we'll show that to you. This right here. And of course, the machine kicked out 2 drinks because I also got this right here. And then I was also given a hamburger, or a cheeseburger, I should say. We'll eat the pickle. I don't actually dislike pickles. I just don't think they belong in a hamburger. Also, I'm not sure why she wanted to keep the story between her and I, but it was a cute story, and I'll keep it between her and I. I rather enjoyed it. She's a pretty good storyteller. Alright, so common decency. You know, when somebody's been there and they know what it's like, and they see somebody living it and going through it, they don't necessarily have it in them to just cold-heartedly look away. With Dean, you know, there's a lot of stuff with him that, well, I know what it's like to be treated like I'm somebody like him. When somebody who's been through it, it's different. And of course, I try to be good to everybody that I meet, especially in person. And even if I'm in an extremely scary situation, I gotta remember to keep my eyes on the prize. While I was at Brett Roloff's, I had to record that stuff, but that was just so I could show the situation there, why it was so impossible to get anything done. I got a lot of calls done while he was visiting North Carolina. And, those calls got me nowhere. There's a guy who got onto my channel and told me to keep speaking up and keep doing what I do. And I should probably mention that I got quite a few videos from up at Washington State. The video series Computaco shows, well, it starts off with a guy at a bus stop with a heroin needle hanging out of his arm, and then as you proceed through the series of videos, it's me enlisting the help of a meth addict to locate my computer because the cops are piss poor pretty much everywhere, and they don't give 2 turds about the homeless people or the crimes committed against them. So that meth addict helped me to go get my computer back from another guy who I had allowed to use my computer. This other guy knew I was living out of my vehicle, and this other guy wanted to use my computer to contact his family. And of course, he stole my computer. So Computaco is a series of events that actually happened, actually recorded in real time, of me getting my computer back, and also getting some apologies from the guy who stole it, and me letting them know what was so important about that computer. I mean, if it didn't have a bunch of evidence of crimes committed by pedophiles and police officers, it wouldn't be that important. But the children come first. There's also another series from Tacoma, Washington, same place, 72nd Street. You get to hear through that series, through that whole period of time. I mean, I let you know where I'm at. I let you know what I'm doing. I speak my peace. I speak my purpose and my intent through all of this. I'm trying to get people to think. All people, need to be allowed the chance to defend themselves, to protect themselves. I depend on other people for my defense because I'm not allowed to defend myself. And a lot of y'all will never understand that. It'll never occur to you what that actually entails, what it actually means, how much you truly take for granted. Those of you who are going to be shortly homeless because you screwed around too much during COVID, you're going to learn. But you're going to hopefully run into people like me who will help you survive. A lot of people who commit suicide, it's within their first couple of nights of becoming homeless. They didn't know it was going to be like that. And I didn't know it was going to be like this. And then, of course, they're a corpse 2 days later. Or they wander around until they have a severe panic attack because they don't know what the hell they're doing. And then they flip out and then the cops come and get them. And then they got a record and then they might possibly lose their job. Thank you, ma'am. The thing about common decency is that we can afford to talk to people like they're human beings. We can afford to pretend that they're people. Because they are. Regardless of Dean's mental state, he's still a human being. The way that they done him dirty is, it's not right. People shouldn't be subject and put through that. Now, the stuff in Washington State, obviously, that's just a toll crossing away. And yet, so far away is my engine in my vehicle not working. In one of the recordings on the YouTube channel, we asked some youngins where to go to get it fixed or worked on. So if I get paid, that's when I'll go down and see about getting that done. If they can come and help me install it, I can go down to the Napa and get the kit. I was told I think they said Napa. For me, this whole journey has been a giant kick in the teeth, but I don't have any teeth. Kind of like that joke where Boulder Police Department arrested me, claiming that I was trying to bite them. With what? That's why it was so important for the body cameras to be taken out and just the hospital cameras to be shown, because the hospital cameras themselves, they don't have the sound to them. So if you see my mouth moving, they can pretend while I was yelling at them that what they were doing was against the law. Matter of fact, I was telling them exactly what they were doing as they were doing it. No, that's not what we're doing. No, I've seen this before. I've been through this before. Many people have. Many people know the experience. Well, the problem is that they tried to paint me as a schizophrenic person to the public to discredit me, and then because I was not heard, a lot of other people ended up dead. I don't see how that's okay. And I don't see how people justify looking away. People want to just focus on Natalie. You know what? If we want to focus on just the pretty white girls in this, well, what about Anna Hunka? She was pretty. She's also very dead. Ran Ingersoll is pretty. She's also there. These women should be alive today. They never should have been through the pain and the stressors that resulted in their deaths. Losing their families, losing their kids, losing their loved ones. For a lot of these folks, their addiction didn't start until very traumatic events that happened to them, many of them when they were younger. Brianna, her stuff started with Doug Calvin who couldn't keep his nasty cock beaters to himself. With Brittany, it started, as far as I could tell, she was always a wonderful and happy and sunshiny person. Then one day, I suppose she was about 15 or 16, she changed. She started having trauma responses. And me, growing up in the system, I was able to identify them immediately, and I've been sticking up for her ever since, including for her own family. Mark Richmond should have kept his nasty cockbeaters to himself. You don't do that to your own kids. That's disgusting. I'm glad she told on you. As far as getting the evidence to the courts, that's going to require making a lot of phone calls and trying to find an advocate or a guardian. And most people are afraid to even try. You know, as soon as they look up Natalie's name, they're immediately afraid. And rightly so. When you look at the evidence that I have, a lot of people, some of them have broken down crying, some of them have broken down entirely and had complete and total mental breakdowns.
Whatever reason it stopped me.
When they realize I'm telling the truth, they get freaked out by the sheer quantity of it. I haven't gotten past 110. One hundredth of 1% of the evidence with any single one of these people, and they can already tell how screwed up it is and seeing how much there is, how long it'll take.
Thank you. I put 120 in the first time.
Yeah.
You're stopped at 60.
Your car probably has a limit, which I'm surprised you didn't go to your limit. I don't know what your limit is.
Right.
But usually it's 74 and 65.
So I only need a quarter tank now, so I just put in 50 bucks on it.
Yeah, I don't know why it stopped prior to that instead of reaching the building.
Right.
Our pumps are actually running like stuff.
Yeah, it was like 63, 77 or something. Hey, cool.
This is more comfortable than sitting in my car.
Yeah. So
It's not too hot. Shade.
I think he's getting
My back hurts. It hurts a lot less.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
My car seat is pretty low in the vehicle, so it's not comfortable, especially after all this time. This is so pretty. Back when my car was actually functioning properly and I had money for gas, I was actually going up and checking out the groves for a little bit. Somebody was telling me they got every type of fruit tree up there.
Oh, they got apples, pears, cherries. There's one place that they have peaches.
Yep, just like Forrest with his shrimp. We got apple pie, we got peach pie, we got cherry pie.
Yep. Oh my God.
Do they have like a bake-off or anything here?
Well, probably at the fair where they bake and have pies and shit.
You'd think a place that produces so many different types of fruits that they would have some sort of a pie festival. I mean, that would be...
Yeah.
And this is a tourist town. I mean, it's not a small town. It's definitely a tourist town.
Oh, yeah.
But it's a tiny tourist town.
Oh, shit. I have to get back to it.
Yes, man. Well, I suppose I probably got some battery on those, and you guys close pretty shortly, so I'll probably be on my way in just a few minutes. I'll finish
no
my
problem.
cigarette.
No problem. All right. Ugh.
Thanks very much.
You're welcome.
It's hard to make sure I keep charging. Now, as far as common decency goes, you know, obviously the ratios and all that I've gone over, and you know, they're according many of them to my personal guesstimation. My guesstimatory work. Let y'all learn some Schwartzisms. Now, of course, my intent is to get all of this before a jury of my peers. Not just like in the 90s, you know, it was stated, actually, it's not cool enough for that. I'll take it down. In the 90s, you know, there was a lot of people that were angry because there was a lot of cases where black people were being tried by all white juries and how biased it truly was. The same goes for the homeless and the disabled. It's rare that somebody with a physical disability is on a jury, let alone somebody with mental disabilities, but they aren't hiding. They don't have to hide actively all the time. If it's documented, it might automatically disqualify you. A lot of people are afraid of their past history being used to try to discredit them about situations that they were a part of. Their whole reasoning for not coming forward is that they had past legal issues. And of course, they were not happy with me when I brought up those past legal issues, because if that's what's standing in the way, let's get it out of the way. Like Desiree Leonard says, let's get it out on Front Street. Alright, all the stuff was overheated. On the bright side, I got 11% charge on this battery. The ones with the new USB cables, oddly enough, they heat up faster, especially heating up the cables, but they don't last as long. There's 4 bars on the big one, and one of those bars is enough to charge my phone up to 100% as long as I keep it off while it's charging. So if it's full, I can charge it 4 times. But it takes all day to charge it. The smaller one, the next smaller size down, 2 bars out of 4 is what it takes to charge my phone to 100%. And of course, that's when it's off. But this one at 11% with my phone off, that get it to about, I don't know, 25%, I guess, if it's already above 15%. If it's not, it'll stay on the setting where it says that it's low battery, and it'll keep on beeping at me every few minutes. Not beeping at me, but popping with a notification up top. I don't know why some of my notifications, it actually dings, and some of my notifications, it don't. Make sure I got my soda pop in my pocket. When it comes to social justice and fighting for human rights, you know, it's not just talking to the peanut gallery on Facebook. You got to take action. You have to get out there and actually do something. I get that a lot of people, their solution is to go kill people, and I understand why. But I'm against killing people for a good reason. You make martyrs, and if you make martyrs, you increase violence. If you increase violence, well, you're not doing any good for anybody, and it's going to take a lot more violence because even if you're 100% right, the opposition using people's deaths to gain sympathy is easily done. And if to gain sympathy, well, if homeless people killed cops at the same rate the cops kill homeless people, you guys would be all for killing all of the homeless people. All of them. You would scream for all of our blood. Even the ones who didn't kill the cops. You would scream for our blood. You would scream for us, well, like many of these people in the Natalie Bollinger situation, you get to see the hatred towards the quote-unquote mentally ill. You get to see the hatred for the homeless. You get to read all of people's assumptions, the assumptions by which they actually commit to action based on assumptions and misbelief, misinformation, stereotypes, bias. Are these not words that you're familiar with in your own struggles? When it comes to abortion, you guys got to hear me saying a lot of mean things. Things you should never say to somebody. Things that are horrible beyond belief. Oh my God, how could you use such language? Oh my virgin ears. Well, I don't give two shits about your goddamn virgin ears when my loved ones are being killed. Your virgin ears are the least of my concern. If you're going to choose to ignore situations where people that I personally care about and personally know are shot in the fucking head, yeah, we're not going to be friends. We're not going to get along. If you're going to threaten to harm my friends or my family, we're not going to get along. If you want to play Nebraskan on me and you want to blame blacks and Mexicans for every goddamn thing, well, you go to the bar every night and you spend $50 a night at the bar. You know how much that is a month? That's like $1,500. You spend $1,500 per month, and then you want to blame black people and Mexicans while you ain't got no money? No, you ain't got no money because you're a fucking alkie. Grow a fucking brain. A lot of folks want to say, Sean, well, you blame everybody but yourself. No, I absolutely blame me for what I do. I blame my problems on 3 white guys, me, myself, and I. I blame you for what you do. If you want to be a racist, I'll call you out. That doesn't reflect on me as a bad person. That reflects on you as a fucking idiot. How the hell can you blame blacks and Mexicans when there ain't no goddamn blacks or Mexicans in Chapel fucking Nebraska? I just saw Dean. I want you guys to understand, blaming people that aren't there, people who don't exist. I'm not saying black people don't exist. I'm not saying Mexicans don't exist. I'm saying that they don't live in Chapel, Nebraska. Nebraska has advertised itself not only as a red state, but a redneck state, as well as, well, popular supporters of both the KKK and the Nazi Party. And that goes on the deepest levels of our government. And of course, I show you stuff like Nebraska's largest collection of KKK memorabilia, right? Where was that found? County Prosecutor's Office. Don't take my word for it. Look it up. I don't want you to believe me. I want you to know beyond any shadow of a doubt. Look up the words chapel. That's CHAPPELL, Nebraska. That sounds like cops. Is that the cops or the ambulance? Now add the letters KKK to the end of the word chapel and press enter. And if any of you actually did that, please copy and paste the link in the comment section after the video is over, or in the live chat if you don't think you can make it to the end of one of my videos, because I do get rather long-winded. Post the link to what you find when you type Chapel KKK. Yeah, very interesting stuff. There's a video called For Peaches the Liar. The video itself is just me ranting, the stuff you get angry at me for saying. But the important part is then in the comment section, they acknowledge my existence. Very nice. In the comment section of that video is 116 conversations with witnesses in the situation, both before Natalie was killed and the aftermath. Getting people to look at it, especially with the way that I was painted. And of course, you guys not understanding how dangerous these characters really are. They're pretty fucking dangerous. And police, when you try to turn them in because they violated your civil and human rights, well, they're pretty fucking dangerous too. Matter of fact, they're even more dangerous because they have a lot of tools at their disposal, paid for by the taxpayers. Where's all their money going? Well, between $5,000 and $12,000 was spent to steal a homeless man's home when the man can barely understand what the hell is going on around him anymore. It's a tough fight. There's a lot of times where some people they seem so goddamn nice, they really do. But then, situations that I was there for, that I recorded, these folks wanna talk to me as if I wasn't there, even after I tell them that I was there and I recorded the whole thing. They still want to make excuses. Well, that's horse shit. They need to knock that shit off. They knew that he wasn't capable and they did it anyway. Now, there's a lot of nice people here in Hood River. I'm going to make a call out, not that anybody in Hood River will hear it, but if there's actually any good people in Hood River, please stand up and do something to help Dean. Please speak up about the Hood River Police Department. If you guys have any stories of what you've seen them do or what they've taken part in against you, please stand up. The only way to put a stop to this is to stand together and do something. I just found the mother lode. Let me show you what I just found. Cardboard. That's right. Let me tell you about the wonderful power of cardboard. There was a guy who came to an air show in Boulder, Colorado, and he had a really cool airplane. And it just looked like, just a regular run-of-the-mill Cessna type of thing. But it wasn't made like a Cessna. He made it out of cardboard. Oh. And that was just really cool to see. They had some pictures of him assembling it and him cutting out the rib spars and stuff like that. Like, it was really cool. But having access to a dumpster like this allows me to pull out a piece of cardboard I can use to make a sign And of course, try to do something that you guys absolutely gonna hate me for, which is panhandle. I haven't gotten a notification from DHHS that I usually get before they pay me. Amanda says they're gonna pay me tomorrow, and I hope so. But there's been more than one occasion where I've been told that, where it did not happen. Oh, nice. That's damn near a full cigarette. I'll take it. Addiction's a bitch, ain't it? Be smart, don't start. Now, one of the things that I've covered, definitely a topic, well, on the opposite end of the spectrum. Predatory action. There's a lot of different types of predators. When I say predators, sometimes you guys assume I'm talking about sexual predators. Nope. There's also financial predators. That's the guardians you guys want to get rid of and abolish, because some of them are financial abusers. They're also mental abusers and captors. Yeah. Even if it happens to your favorite stars from Hollywood from back in the day, it's the older ones. They're gonna die. You don't care. Britney Spears you cared about. Johnny Depp, yeah, he's already washed up, has been, but we might get a few retiree movies out of him. You know, like the low budget B movies that we see Clint Eastwood in now. We might get a couple of good movies out of him first. But he's definitely losing his heartthrob status. Thank you. It makes perfect sense why he's got to wear all that fucking makeup in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies. There's a sign here that's rather interesting. We're actually at the library. This is a cement bench. And of course, the gentleman with the two dogs, he gave me a Sharpie so I could make a sign. He even knew what to write on it, and if I can remember what he told me to write, I'll write it on there. Not sure if that'd be healthy for him though, since I kind of look like him, and I don't want to give people the wrong impression and have him harmed because I hold signs to say things like America is Nazi and Americans are cowards. Those do not make people happy. It's friggin' sweltering out here, which means that there's higher humidity than there was before. That probably means that there is going to be something coming in from the ocean this time. Who knows? I could be wrong about that. I've been wrong before. Might also be that it was so hot today that the Columbia River, let me show you the Columbia River. It's right on the other side of the Full Sail Brewing Company. Just the other side of that is Washington State. I had my own problems in Washington State. The Computaco series, of course, is pretty important. There's also the girl who stole my phone. If you just type "stole my phone" while you're searching through my videos, you'll see quite a few videos, actually, because I had more than one phone stolen. they get to use that against me too. Oh my god, Sean called me from multiple numbers. Well, yeah, we were friends and I kept on getting my phone stolen. So, yeah, why wouldn't I call you from a different number if I have a different number? Makes sense, don't it? Of course, there's Hood River's finest. I'm not sure if I held it up high enough for you to see, but that officer is kind enough to look in my direction, so he knows I exist. They also know I'm not happy with them. They also know I'm trying to turn them in, and they have also repeatedly gone out of their way to give me the mentally ill treatment. When somebody is disabled and they're trying to turn in crimes against them, yeah, they need help to do that, or they will get blown off. If they know something about human trafficking, the cops are not going to listen to them. If you get kidnapped from my parking lot, the chances are, even if I see it, if I call it in, the cops are going to blow it off. And then, of course, if something happens to you and you end up dead, they're going to try to point fingers at me. They'll probably never find your killer. With Natalie, they got lucky. And of course, I'll have to deal with people threatening me and harassing me and getting a hold of me to let me know that they're going to kill my family and they're going to rape my dog and all sorts of other fucking creepy shit. Oh, and in Jesus' name, no doubt. They do that often. Big difference between nice and good. Well, I gotta have the camera on for my own safety. The external battery is at 4% now, and my battery itself is at 20%, so it's raised 5% almost. About 5%. I don't know, should we write any suggestions? Hello. I noticed we don't have me viewers yet, so probably won't be any suggestions. And there might have been some earlier, but they left already. So we'll figure something out. Maybe I'll write something kind and sweet, like smile, you're prettier than I am. Or maybe spare change for the slightly deranged. Or maybe the classic, pardon me, could you possibly part with a pretty penny for a pathetic me? You know what? With no teeth, that's not so easy to say. Maybe spare change or a joke. I like jokes. I like hearing jokes, I like telling jokes, and anybody with good old-fashioned decent banter, yeah, I'll trade wits with you. Alright, maybe something strange like spare humanity for a human. We could go with the classic, why lie, I need a beer, but that would be a lie. I don't need a beer, I don't need a drink. You guys got to hear me in the last few days turn down more than one beer, so I mean, it's not like that's relegated to the land of the mythologic creatures. It's not like people offering alcohol to homeless people is a unicorn or Santa Claus or whatever deity you happen to believe in. You may be on the right track about religion. I don't know what your religious beliefs are. You might be on the right track. You might not. I don't know. But I know that you're only human, so you don't know. All right. Um, how about my car is busted, but I don't bite? We could try that. At least it's true. With no teeth, I can't bite anybody, and my car is busted down at the park ride, so we'll work on that. I should probably write something big enough that people can read it. And of course, if people give me change to work on my vehicle, it won't necessarily be enough to fix it, but if I make sure I don't spend it on food and make sure I try not to drink anything except from the fountains in town, we might be able to change it up in a few days. Probably not, but it's a possibility. And I got this Sharpie here from the man with the two dogs, and he was a very pleasant gentleman, except when he got spat on. That wasn't pleasant. Of course, when I say spat on, I don't mean literally. I mean, like, we'll just let the man tell his story when he's calmed down. It just. I don't get why people get that way. I don't get why, if you commit a crime against a homeless person, you can just call them mentally ill and it magically goes away. You're magically some sort of hero for being a piece of shit. Well, you're not. You're not a hero for being a piece of shit. You're a piece of shit for being a piece of shit. Now, I do want to go to New Mexico. I do want to be able to help out Chelsea as best I can. I'm not sure what I can do from here, but I know that if I'm closer, there's a lot more options I have at my disposal. I know that Chelsea wants to keep the victims and their names safe, so she's got somebody. She does want to tell her story. She does want this stuff to stop. She's in an impossible situation just for being a good person, just for being a loving mother, just for one of them catch-22s where the government says it's your fault no matter what. You cannot force another person's will. I mean, you can scare the shit out of them. People sure scared the hell out of me when it come to my little sister, telling me that she was followed by the cops and that she was afraid to come in with me and that she'd have to find another way. And then, of course, I couldn't go into court by myself. And Joan Hanson, her with the evidence thing, they shouldn't have ever been allowed to do that. The only reason they were allowed to continue to commit these crimes were literally, what is it? They started committing serious crimes to hide their crimes in 2018 to 2019 to 2020 to 2021 to 2022. 4 years. 4 of them. 4 years. God, that's fucking nasty. When we were finally able to set it up almost to do everything with the state patrol, that's when Scott Costa again pulled that illegal BS. False charges over and over and over and over and over and over. And of course, misrepresenting the situation, intentionally misleading the situation, and of course, omitting evidence that showed that they lied. Over and over and over again. And also, over and over and over again, they sent me to other jurisdictions for trying to turn them in, and utilized other jurisdictions. And of course, abused their power. How is it that those judges, if they're such good judges, why is it that in all of these occasions, out of the 11 occasions in Dula County where they pulled this BS, why is it that their charges never stuck? Why did their charges never stick? What was I doing when they committed these crimes? Was I trying to turn in the Dula County Sheriff's Department? Was I trying to turn in their friends? The answer is yes. Is it verifiable that Leslie Snell lives right across the street from Robert Warnick? Well, it's pretty fucking verifiable, yes. You can go to the sex offender registry and see right where he is. You know, I mean, it's right across the street's Jeff Baldridge's, and then just to the, well, if you're looking south, Leslie's is just to the right of Jeff Baldridge's. Bob's Welding is just to the left of Jeff Baldridge's. On the other side of Snell's is, of course, Hanson's, and that place kind of looks like the Alamo. So, and then, of course, across from the Alamo is a couple of houses. One of them was my mom's old house, and the pedophile lives there. And then, of course, there's, Jesus, there's a lot of pedophiles in Chapel. Mark Richmond, he may be a registered pedophile in the next county over, but he frequents Dula County, and he is there often, and his victim is from Dula County. But the family threw her away and kept Mark. I don't get that. I've never understood that, and that right there is why, you know, when her family tells me things about her, I can believe them. I've been on the streets. But there's also the fact that where did that start? Where did that begin? There was always family problems before that. You know, every family is imperfect. But when did she become an addict? When did she turn to that life? What did it take to put her there, and what was she trying to drown out? How about my car is broken, so am I? That'll work. Especially since this thing is running out of ink. He said he wasn't sure how much ink was left in it, that it might be almost dead, but I might be able to get a sign or two out of it. He's right. I might be able to get 2 signs out of it if I try real hard. But that would be a lot of effort. A whole lot of effort. I know that a lot of the classic signs get more money, but I just don't feel like being dishonest with people. I know that if I fly a sign that says why lie, I need to get high, or why lie, I just need a beer, those generally do make more money, but it's also a misrepresentation of the situation. And of course, I like hippies, and there's a lot of grubby people here. Grubby people. In California, they were called dirtbags. The dirty kids. Of course, it's odd to hear a 40 or 50-year-old man call themselves a dirty kid, but that term's been around since they were little kids. When they first started being the dirty kids on the streets. Alright, let's take a look at my sign. Does this look like something to piss off Grandma? We'll try to see if we can see it a little bit better with the light, of course. What's the likelihood that I'll get enough to fix my car using? Not very good. What's the chances that I'll make enough to possibly buy the part that it takes to fix it if I can get a mechanic to diagnose it? I'd say my chances of being able to fix it are about 50-50. I don't know what my chances are of getting a mechanic to stop and diagnose it. There's that young gentleman, I believe it was Fernando, who stopped, and he knew quite a bit. I hope when I go to fix it, he's there. But I'll go through my videos and I'll see who it was that those young folks the other night said to talk to. Right now it's pretty fresh, so I can remember approximately about when and what video I was making. So it's a lot easier to find that than if it was something that I had made like 4 or 5 months ago. It's mostly drug addicts and homeless people that have shown me the most common decency, and a lot of broke people. Some folks across the street got a dog. You know how I feel about that. I suppose I'll walk back up by the Sinclair station and see if it works. I don't really feel like walking that far, honestly, but there's no guarantee I'm gonna get paid tomorrow, and I can't just be broke and trying to get the hell out of here and trying to get this information where it needs to go and not have money to purchase the evidence of the police misconduct. How odd. how odd that you can purchase the evidence of their wrongdoing, but then they also want to tell you it'll take an act of God. I'm right across the street from the ice cream shop, of course, the Ruddy Duck and Mike's Ice Cream. I love ice cream. I haven't tried their ice cream yet. This time of night, probably a good time of night, because during the day there's a bunch of people there, and of course, you know how I feel about large crowds. People suck. One person is easy to talk with. 3 people talking at once is a miscommunication issue waiting to happen. Or intentionally created by assholes. That sounds terrible. That's a Mustang GT and he was going like 5 miles an hour. We're also in bug season, and there's mites in the grass here. I'm not sure how many of y'all have ever had to deal with mites. If you got chickens, you know all about mites. They'll eat all of the feathers off of your chickens. Your chickens will peck each other to death trying to clean each other, hoping that the other chickens will clean them. And then you end up with chickens that done killed each other because they want to get rid of the mites. They're little teeny tiny red things though, so they're not necessarily easy to see. But they're out in force this time of year. If I wipe my face and all of a sudden you see a red streak, I might have accidentally squished a mite because I felt it touching me. I've done that a couple of times already today. Got one of them on my arm right there, and it's mostly wiped away, but you can, well, most of the way, but you can still see it. Even through all of my hippie filth. So I suppose we gotta plug ourselves in and we'll attach our bag here. Actually, while we're here, I'm going to take the opportunity, since I do see a garbage can here, I'm going to throw away a little bit of the garbage, because that young lady at the Astro station, she gave me a McDonald's cheeseburger, and along with the McDonald's cheeseburger, it was in a bag, and also it was in a wrapper. Both of those are trash that I cannot toss. First though, napkins are important. Sometimes you don't have toilet paper, you don't have a Kleenex, you need something. You get a runny nose or whatever, you never know. Sometimes you eat something that somebody gave you thinking it was alright, but it's been sitting in their fridge for a couple of days, and then it's hot, so you don't eat it right away, and you eat it at night, and the next thing you know, you're waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, your stomach is killing you, and you're going to have to drip dry? No, not okay. So, when they give you napkins, even if you throw away everything else, I recommend taking the napkins out and putting them in your glove box. If you get stuck on the side of the road, especially as a male, it may be a while before anybody stops to check on you, see if you're alright, or offer to help, if at all. It might be a police officer who shows up and says that you were threatening people in the middle of the road. Yes, I've seen that. I saw that, and I'm not sure if I was at the Wyoming side or if I was on the Montana side. I think I want to say that because of their behavior, it was probably the Wyoming side, but well, I suppose we ought to get our happy ass walking and try to make at least a couple of bucks before it gets too dark and too unsafe to actually panhandle. At nighttime, people assume that even with all the street lights and all of that, that somehow nobody's going to see nothing. Well, to some degree, that's true. But not usually because of the light, because there's a bunch of fucking street lights, like I said. It's usually because there's less people around to witness it. And a lot of people who enjoy the nightlife, well, they might have been inebriated before seeing the event, and they don't want to talk to the cops. They don't want to get busted drinking and driving for making a report. And you get the people who are like, it's not my problem, it's not my business, mind your business, and so on. And then, of course, there's the people that turn around as soon as they hear a commotion. They don't know how it started, but you're the hobo. You're probably a junkie. It's your fault. That's why a lot of situations with homeless people, the police don't actually bother to try to get anybody to come in and ID. They'll just try to roll you through by holding you as long as possible. Because most people's recollection of how it started, they realize that since everybody's recollection of how it started is different, and whose fault it was is obviously the important part there, who started it. Well, if you hold a homeless person long enough, maybe they'll claim that they did it. Or maybe they'll just give up and you drop the charges and let them go, and they're just glad to get the fuck out of there. Alright. We shall cross the street. It don't look like there's anybody over here being rude or inconsiderate or with any ill will or intent. If I'm able to get my car fixed, then we'll come down here and celebrate by getting some ice cream. I'll tell you my personal opinion of it. For right now, I'm just carrying my sign. I'm not actually flying it. And of course, part of the reason for recording stuff everywhere I go is because once people got your number, they pretty well stay that way. There's a lot of folks who they didn't understand that they should have come forward. They should have told the truth. They had every opportunity and every chance. A good person would have admitted to that and stepped forward. Now I got to go through a computer I don't actually have access to. I mean, I have access to it. I can't carry it all the way to the library. And of course, it's a big box computer. It's the desktop, so it wouldn't just be the desktop that I'd have to carry. So, of course, with my back issues, I am not likely to be able to do something like that. I guess we'll check a couple more of the change machines on the way to over by the Starbucks in the marina. I think it's, South Marina Way. Thanks to Miss Deanna, I have been able to eat today and cool off and sit in the shade and have a decent conversation and even make a few jokes. just a little bit of humanity goes a long way. Now, there's a folks at one of the dispensaries down here. I love going there. I absolutely do. And not for the pot. I go there because there's two very, very funny employees. One of them in specific is extremely hilarious, and I go there and I trade jokes with him and then I leave. So he's pretty good to me. He doesn't expect me to smoke pot there. Of course, you're not allowed. So obviously I'm not going there to smoke pot with the guy. And his jokes, they're not racist jokes, they're not hateful jokes, they're not mean-hearted or mean-spirited. So, of course, I gotta stop talking when a big truck goes by. And I gotta make a joke about erectile dysfunction or size or something. That was not a velociraptor, that was me barking. There's the River Police Department. They must have found a hobo. Or are they pulling somebody over? Well, I didn't see a hobo down that direction. I am worried about Dean though, because I did see him a little earlier walking around town. The chances of the Hood River Police Department being douches to him, especially since he's going to be in a state of complete panic for a while. I guess we'll cross the street this way just so I can make sure I don't mind my own business. No, it doesn't look like Dean. Looks like they pulled somebody over. Oh. What I wouldn't give for a shower. Well, I do have the coolest sign on the block because I have the only one on the block. There's a bunch of white people in the crosswalk. Quite rid of them, so we will cross the road again. Not the crosswalk, but the sidewalk. They have wide sidewalks here. I'm not sure why people feel the need to take up the entire thing. But, as you can tell, I don't mind crossing the road. Now, when I made this video, I titled it Common Decency. Common decency ain't that common. Human decency ain't that human. Because most humans do not exhibit it. They got rules for them that are different from those around them. They're allowed to get insulted by things that you are not allowed to get insulted by. I'm sorry, dogs love me, they can't help it. That dog almost pulled that man over coming to say hello to me. Alright, so I guess we'll go this way. They're probably closed up there at the Astro by now. She did give me enough. I have almost enough. No, I didn't. I had to put in both of the dollars because I didn't have enough change. But I did get 2 soda pops out of it, and I still have one in my left pocket. It's the blue Mountain Dew thingy, or purplish, I guess. Voltage, that's what it's called. Alright. Of course, I don't have any pot to smoke, so that's not happening. I don't drink, so that's not happening. I don't have any meth and I don't do meth, so that's not happening. I don't do cocaine. I've never tried cocaine. I've never tried heroin. There's a lot of stuff I never tried. I don't mind being an asshole to just about anybody. It depends on your level of human decency. But if you're not going to be a decent human, I'm not going to fret myself about telling the truth and showing the truth. You have your chances and opportunities to show your decency by coming forward and being honest. If you can't do that, well, I'm not the bad guy. I'm not the bad guy for showing it. Well, looks like they're just now closing down at the Astro. So not quite yet. You get to go home now? Yes, ma'am. May I bug you for a bit?
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Oh, made myself a sign so I look like a proper hobo. Is that the worst sign ever? Alright. Set that down. I want to make sure it doesn't auto adjust for nighttime though.
Yeah.